Hello. So today we're going to show off our remote desktop services. It's found under our managed stacks. We have a specialized remote desktop service in Quickbooks, which is basically just an application you can run on a Windows server's remote desktop utilizing our same remote desktop services. So this is essentially just a specialized offering of the remote desktop services. This can be any application that runs on Windows, whether it's an ERP, whether it's even Excel or Word, or any application that you're running on a Windows machine. So let's say it's an application to manage your law firm or your doctor's office or whatever it is. So we provide a compliant environment, and the way the remote desktop services work is there's a cluster of remote desktop servers essentially that authenticate users in, and I'll show you those users and how you select applications. And then the users get an application on their desktop just like it would be Word or Excel or whatever. They double click on it and it just launches that application after authenticating in. The remote desktop clusters create a tunnel, a VPN tunnel, so users can access from anywhere without actually accessing the remote desktop port on your server, which is closed off except for administrative purposes via VPN for special users, etc. So this is a really secure way to offer applications in the cloud without giving your users full access to your desktop, and when they open up an application, they just get access to the application. So I'm going to show you one here. For example, we're going to use Quickbooks. You can see I have Excel here as well. But I'm just going to double click on this icon. This can be anywhere on the user's desktop or whatever. And the test user we have set up. And the password. Now this user you can use across various different systems, whether you want to access, let's say, a WordPress website or any other. This is a full AD LDAP kind of setup. So these users can be used across file storage, etc., or whatever it is that you're using, email even. So I'm going to authenticate in, and now you can see it's securing connection to the RDS gateway. And it's going to go through the process here of launching the application. And once the application is launched, it's going to operate like a normal app on your desktop for the full day or for whatever settings you set. Maybe you want users to time out after an hour, or maybe you want them to never time out, etc. And you can see here that here's Quickbooks in the cloud. And now this is a sample data, this is a sample install, but this is essentially how it works. So I'm going to close this off. And whether this is Excel or Word or QuickBooks or Goldmine or whatever application you're running, this is what it's going to look like. You can see there's no remote desktop functions here. I can't browse the server. I can't browse other applications. It's just launched into this application. Really, really secure way to handle your applications in the cloud and move whatever applications you have running in your local server closet or your local office into the cloud. And it's a very, very effective way to do this. So this is managed through an interface we provide people where you can select the applications that are available and then provide the users with those icons that I pointed out previously. Those sit on their desktop wherever they want, double click, enter the username and password, and they're in. From here you can control user sessions, you can monitor user sessions, you can log them out, you can set users, you can set administrators, you can set experience and settings, so like timeout settings, password complexity, how often to reset passwords, create new users, all this type of thing, create and remove users. From here. So in the client interface, in the Cartika interface, accounts.cartika.com, this customer in particular that's running this is 100 plus users using QuickBooks. So they have a physical server versus a cloud infrastructure, which you could resize and do all the cloud type functions with. But what I really wanted to show you here was integrating into a panel stuff like backups. So you can select which restore point and which files that you want to restore. The other thing that we have here that's really interesting to look at is the big data interface. And this is a data that we collect on the server that we present to you. You can set notifications against it, but you can really see the health of your server. Now this is a weekend that I happen to be recording this, so the usage is going to be low here, but you can take a look. So I got this selected over the last hour, and you can see QuickBooks is using up the majority of their CPU, and that's a single CPU core. But you can see the overall CPU and RAM is pretty low usage here on a weekend. You can see the network bandwidth. They obviously, in disk I/O, they obviously have a few people logged in today and working their disk space usage. And here you go. You can see the users that logged in, how many times they logged in. You can actually get into details to see when they logged in, how long their sessions were. This is all required for compliance. You can see even over the weekend they had a few users log in here. Now, we provide a fully managed service. That includes endpoint security, backups. As you can see, the backups here, you can restore them yourselves. The big data monitoring and analytics and data that you may need. Now, this server is just running QuickBooks, and nothing else. But if you're running other applications on here, whether you're running PHP, MySQL, whatever, MS SQL, there'd be all this data here that you could analyze and assess the performance of your application and see how you're doing. So the idea here is to provide a compliant managed solution on the cloud, whether it's GDPR, PIPEDA, PCI. If it's something more stringent, like you get into HIPAA or PHIPA in Canada for personal health data, or SOX FSMA for financial data, the more stringent the requirements are for your data storage requirements, we can accommodate those. And as you see, we give you a lot of the tools right within your interface to manage a lot of these aspects. That's it for today. This is the RDS Remote Desktop Services solution. Today we demonstrated QuickBooks. Any remote desktop application that you want to run and make enabled for your users in the cloud, this is the right solution for you. Thanks and have a great day.